This semester I had the opportunity to work in the Wales classroom with children who are 3 to 4 years old with Miss Dawn as my mentor teacher. As I began the semester in the Wales classroom, I set out to determine what the children were demonstrating a focused interest in. After much observation and reflection, I came to the conclusion that the children really enjoy building. After realizing this, I wanted to narrow down the broad idea of building and figure out if there was a specific aspect of this process that really interested the children, whether that be the materials they were using, the shapes or colors they used, or whether there was a specific type of structure they enjoyed building. To start this process, I began with simply setting out magnetiles, which was a tool the children seemed to gravitate towards. As we went through this activity, I noticed that when I asked the children about what they were building, they had some trouble correctly naming the different shapes the magnetiles came in. In order to work on this, I then introduced an activity where the children were completing puzzle outlines with the magnetiles in order to get them to recognize the different sides that make up each shape and how they can fit together. We talked about the names of the different shapes we were using and how we could identify these shapes by counting their sides, which seemed to stick when completing our second activity.
How do you know this one was a square? I saw you counting. What were you counting? What did you count?
4 sides.
4 sides, which makes it a square. Good job.
Going into my first activity, I wanted to continue this focus on the pieces and process of building to get the children to do some more critical thinking as they built, thinking about what kinds of pieces they would need and where each one should go. In order to do this, I created an activity where the children would be creating blueprints or drawing out designs for their structures before they actually began building. Beginning to have these conversations about the specific pieces in a larger whole is representative of the DRDP measures COG7 shapes, as I asked the children to tell me which shapes they wanted to use, rather than just grabbing them.
Okay, so what blocks do we need to build our structures? Which shapes?
A square and a circle.
Okay.
And
And a stick. Okay.
When we began the activity, I found that the children were able to complete both steps of first drawing and then building, but the two parts were not always related. Some children would begin drawing using different colors and long strokes across their paper rather than shapes and tell me they were drawing a rainbow or the beach, but then build a large castle or monster house. While the children's drawings and buildings were not always related, when I began asking them about what they had created, they were able to give me labels or descriptions for each.
that's it.
That part, what is it?
When I was a great monster hut.
Oh, the monster hut. Okay, Nakai, what did you make over here? What did you draw?
That.
What is it?
It goes.
A ghost? Okay, well,
I mean these ones. I mean those ones.
they're friends?
Going into my second activity, my mentor teacher and I realized that this two-step process may be a bit complicated for the children, but a skill we could work towards. I also wanted to continue to build on this idea of putting intention behind the building and encouraging the children to have some sort of plan for what they were doing. In this second activity, I saw a great improvement in being able to plan out what the zoo should look like in order to house our different animals. The children seemed to be able to explain clear intentions for each structure without having the animals even on the table yet.
What are you working on? A habitat for what animal?
These are the fox, lion, cheetah, and snake.
Oh, there's going to be a lot of animals in there.
When I had watched the children build in previous activities, I had also noticed that they either engaged in solitary building or at times had trouble sharing the different materials. After discussing this, my mentor teacher and I thought that by giving the children a shared goal to work towards, like building the zoo, they could practice the skill of collaboration and the DRDP measures of SED4, relationships and social interactions with peers, as well as ATL Reg 7, shared use of space and materials. I was impressed with how well the children were able to work together during this activity.
That's too much. Then a mom can't get out. Yeah, but I'm putting on this little door can help it get out. And they can come out so they can walk out, and that's how they get out.
Through this process of planning and reflecting, I learned the importance of observations in order to gain a better understanding of not only what the children are interested in, but also areas they perform really well in versus areas we can work on. Another very important skill I learned this semester was the importance of flexibility and being able to modify my activities to meet the needs of the children in the classroom. For both of my activities, one teaching strategy I utilized was asking questions. I wanted to ask the children about what they were drawing and building to provide opportunities for meaningful conversations regarding what the children are interested in and creating. Because I was focused on the building process with these activities, I wanted to see what the children create and hear what they have to say about it when they are taking the time to think about what they're going to build before they actually start using materials.
What did you build over here?
A place where they can rest.
Oh, this is a resting place.
No, that's where they watch TV.
And then over here is where they watch TV?
No, that's where they watch.
That's where they watch TV.
Another teaching strategy that was really important to use during my second activity was modeling. Because I wanted to encourage the children to collaborate during this activity, it was important for me to model how the children can use their words and how to invite other children into what they are doing. After my experience with the lab this semester and getting to practice creating curriculum with much more intention, I found my desire to teach young children has only been strengthened. I've really enjoyed getting to work so closely with my mentor teacher in order to go so much deeper with my observations and integrate different skills into something the children have demonstrated an interest in. I've learned a lot about teaching and curriculum planning and about myself, and I feel like with this experience I've been able to gain more confidence in my teaching abilities.